Joined by Amanda Deshaies, the head women's lacrosse coach at Husson University. Coach, thank you for your time and how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Gavin. How are you today?
Good. Can you tell me a little bit about your university? I believe it's Husson University.
Yes, Husson's a smaller private university up in
Mhm.
Bangor, Maine. So we're about an hour and a half away from Augusta, the state capital, and about 2 hours away from Portland. Um, our class sizes are almost on the smaller side, but I think a good size for students to attend. Our campus is exactly 1 mile around. It's one big circle, which is why it's called one college circle. But it's definitely a really special place and a great university for students to go to.
Yeah. Just can you tell me a little bit about your women's lacrosse program, and you've been the head coach since 2022. So, just tell me a little bit about your program. What's it been like, being the head women's lacrosse coach since 2022?
It's been really, really amazing.
Mhm.
The students are spectacular. We have a really, really great group on this team. And they definitely keep me going every day. They keep my life interesting. I love getting to talk to the team and just being a part of all of their lives. So that's something that's very, very special. This team has a lot of grit, a lot of determination. Before I took over in 22, the previous season, the team had gone 1-9.
Yeah.
And then the following season, we had gone 10-5. So I think they just were ready to go and ready to capitalize on the skill that they really had.
Yeah. So tell me, 2023, you were North Atlantic Conference Coach of the Year. You had, one Conference Rookie of the Year. You went 10-5, the NAC went 5-1 in 2023. You finished second conference runner-ups for the North Atlantic Conference. So just tell me a little bit about 2023 and how that season was for you as coach and for just your program overall.
2023 will definitely always be a special one, I think, for
Yeah.
me and my coaching staff. Like I just said, the season before that, the team had gone 1-9 before I had taken over. And then to have that kind of a season in 2023 was
Yeah.
really special. And I know the team felt that same way as well. Um, they came and they were just ready to play, and we were just excited to be there and get the opportunity. So I think that just having that season, it's going to be a special one for me as a coach, and I know it was very special for the team too.
Yeah. So your team, has had success in your conference. You went 5-1 in 23, and then last season in 2024, you went 6-1. So, the past 2 years, 11-2 in conferences. Tell me a little about your conference, the NAC, and just tell me about the success your team has had, over the past 2 years, in conference play.
Absolutely. Our conference has kind of shifted a little bit over the last couple years.
Mhm.
In 2023, we had some New York schools and then a lot
Okay.
of Maine schools and one
Mhm.
Vermont school.
Okay.
So we've had that kind of be the trend for the last couple of years. So we definitely had the opportunity to face a lot of tough teams in the conference, and we were able to come away with some big wins for some other games as well. But I think just going into all conference games, just knowing that we are ready to give it our all and work our hardest. At the end of the day, the end game here is to win a North Atlantic Conference championship, which
Yeah.
we've fallen just short of the
Mhm.
last two seasons. But I know we're ready to go for this season, and we're ready to work hard, and go after that ring.
Yeah. So you're a graduate of Husson, University, which we'll get into, talking about your time, attending and, playing lacrosse at, Husson. But just what does it mean to you, to be leading this program, at your alma mater?
It's really special. It's kind of hard to put
Mhm.
it into words.
Yeah.
Hudson will definitely always be, it will hold a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
And I think the really, really amazing thing that we can look at as an institution as a whole is that we have a lot of alumni that actually come back to work at Hudson. So I think that just
That's,
speaks volumes at our, to the experience that we have as students. We have numerous coaches down here who have graduated from Husson. We have numerous, even just staff up top that have worked at Husson. So I think it just shows that Husson is a special place and that once you kind of get here, you don't really want to leave,
Mhm.
which is what has stood true for me. But just getting to lead the team that I had so much passion playing for, it's really almost kind of indescribable, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Mhm. So prior to becoming, the head coach in 2022, you previously served as an assistant coach. So just tell me about your time being an assistant coach, how that was for you, and just what did you learn being an assistant coach, that has helped you, now being the head coach.
Yeah, that time as an assistant coach was definitely extremely important.
Mhm.
Um, I hadn't really had much coaching experience prior to that. I had helped out for one season. My best friend, she was coaching at Bangor High School, so I had helped her out with that for one season. But getting the opportunity to be an assistant here before I really started my head coaching career, I
Yeah.
think was pivotal to my success.
Mhm.
Just kind of helped me learn, things maybe I should do, maybe things that I would want to change if I were in charge. And so I think having those years and those seasons really helps turn me into the coach that I am today. And without it, I think I would definitely be in a different position if I just went straight into head coaching.
Yeah. So I see, at least last season, your team took a spring break trip to Florida. So just tell me about the spring break trip your team took to Florida and just how it was, getting to go down there and play some games.
Spring break trip was
Mhm.
awesome. I know the team felt the same way. This was, I think, our first time ever in program history going down to Florida. So
Okay.
that was a really nice experience. We had been to South Carolina previously and kind of stayed local a couple other years, but Florida, this was the first time. So it was a really, really great experience. It's nice to get out of the snow and get to play
Yep.
in the warmth for a little bit.
Yep.
There was definitely a little bit of a roller coaster thrown to us at the end. We actually had our flight canceled at the end of
Okay.
the spring break trip.
Mhm.
So we were stuck in Florida for a couple extra days. And I know the team was not very upset about that, but as a coach, it was a little bit stressful trying to figure out how we were going to be getting home. But nonetheless, once we figured it out, we had a couple more days to kind of hang out, relax in Florida, had a good
Yep.
time. But overall, that trip was great. We got to see some opponents that we wouldn't normally see. So that opened our eyes up a little bit to some more competition that's out in the rest of the country.
Yep. So you start your season in March. You play in Maine. You also play in like Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, and Vermont. So starting your season, in March, you have to deal with the snow and the cold as you mentioned. So just tell me about starting your season when it's still cold and there might even still be snow on the ground. Just how do you as coach and how does your team navigate and deal with playing outside in the cold?
Yeah. So typically we kind of start out a little bit outside, a little bit inside, so that way we can allow our bodies to get acclimated. Our athletic training staff is great. Our maintenance staff is great. Facility staff is great. As long as we can get outside and the fields are plowed for us, we will get outside as long as it's safe. So sometimes we're out there when it is snowing,
Yeah.
but it makes it all the more fun. And, the team embraces that and know that we have to get outside in order to prep and get ready for our season. But it's the great state of Maine and we love it. We love to
Yeah.
be here. We love to have that kind of weather just because
Hmm.
it's why we're all here. But I think just prepping for it helps us because if we were to just practice inside for months up until March, it wouldn't really prepare us and be ready to play when we do play some of our games in colder weather or maybe the snow, inclement weather.
Yeah.
But it's always that period where you kind of think when it first starts getting cold, like, oh, this is really, really cold. And then when we're out there in February, we're like, this isn't that bad. It's actually really warm. It's like that
Mhm.
period when the weather shifts. So it's kind of funny to see that change.
Yeah. And so your team last season was 4-0 at home. So just talk about, the success, at least last season, your team had at home and just tell me about your home field. You play at John P. Butcher Fields. Just tell me about the success, especially last season, your team had at home, and then just tell me about your home field.
Yeah, we are very, very lucky to have the facilities that we do here at Husson. So Boucher Field's a beautiful venue. We actually just got a new scoreboard this year. So we're really excited to put that to good use. But our field's central to our campus. So anybody walking around, if we're having a game going on, it's easy to see that, easy to come and attend. But for the most part, we have a really, really strong fan base, which has been amazing. Especially during my time as an assistant, I kind of saw our fan base wavering a little bit when we maybe weren't competing to the best of our abilities. When the 23 season rolled around, we kind of had a huge buy-in and turnaround in our fan base. And now a lot of the time when we actually travel places as well, we do have that strong fan base coming with us. But that truly makes all of the difference for the team to just see their friends and families and loved ones just out there cheering them on at home. I don't think there's a greater sense of pride than in those moments. So
Yeah.
I think that truly helped, our, like you said, our record at home last
Hmm.
season. So grateful
Yeah.
for that.
And then coach, can you tell me about, Caitlin? She's your assistant coach. She has been an assistant coach for the women's lacrosse program since 2023. She's also the head coach for the field hockey team, and she's a 2017 graduate of Husson. So can you just tell me a little about Caitlin, and her, being your assistant coach?
Absolutely. So Caitlin, there is never a moment where I take her for granted. She
Hmm.
is a spectacular assistant. She does a lot of work with our goalies, which is greatly appreciated. And she kind of brings a different mindset to things than I do. Just she a lot of the times will focus more defensively focused. I'll maybe focus a lot more offensively focused. So us together, I think we really make a great team. It also helps that we played together. She's actually my best friend, so that's another thing that Hassan has really given me. So now I have the opportunity to have played with and coach with my best friend. And she is just she's someone who could never be replaced on our coaching staff, and I'm truly grateful for everything that she does for the program.
Yeah.
And like myself, like you said, she's an alum, so she has a love for Hassan, and I think we both kind of carry that through onto the team, and as a result, the team kind of spreads that love as well. So.
Yeah. So coach, can you just tell me a little about your upcoming season? That'll probably begin in the spring, and then just for this upcoming season, can you just talk about any players you want to touch on, any notable players that you have on your team for this upcoming season that you want to talk a little bit about?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So we are going to open our season February 28th. So
Okay.
we're very excited for that day to roll around, for that day to come. We are returning six seniors, so spectacular number there. We'll be returning Emma Began back in cage. Jordan Lengel will be coming back. We have Sydney Heth, Montana Carrier, anchoring that defense. So really looking forward to bringing back, that senior class. Maddie Benoit in the midfield. So it's going to be great to have them all back. We've also got a very, very exciting group of first years that we have coming in. We brought in 7 first years this year. So really looking forward to bringing their new skills and their new chemistry to the team and being able to work with them and see how they contribute to our team this season.
Yeah. So coach, as you mentioned, your upcoming season begins at the end of February. So during the off season and the fall, just tell me about some of the things you and your team work on in the fall and the off season to get ready for the season that begins at the end of February.
Yeah. In the fall, we definitely do a lot more stick skills and small-sided drills
Mhm.
just to kind of get our sticks back in our hands. Sometimes there's a little bit of rust that accumulates over the summer. So when we get back in the fall, we're really focusing on getting our sticks in our hands, getting conditioned again, getting back in the weight room. And we really hope that we can ride that momentum from the fall into the spring season because now is the period of time where, they're home with their families for a little bit, they're away from school. So being able to ride that momentum for the fall really, really helps us when we get back in the spring. And then the goal is to hopefully work on less time with the stick skills and
Yeah.
try to increase more of our actual gameplay in the spring.
Yeah, and then for lacrosse overall, just tell me a little bit about, lacrosse like outside of college, do some of your players, play in any games or just tell me about some of the things, lacrosse wise that some of your players may do, outside of college or outside of any practices that you have.
Um, so things that they may do on their own outside of lacrosse.
Yeah, any, practicing that they do or do they play any, games or are they on any teams outside of lacrosse, outside of college lacrosse?
Yeah, so they're not on any teams
Okay.
lacrosse-wise outside of college, but we do have a few dual sport athletes, so they actually
Okay.
do a little bit of both. So we have 2 basketball dual sport athletes, three field hockey dual sport athletes. So it's really, really exciting to get to actually go to their events too, and their games outside of lacrosse season. I know we have a lot of our team that goes to support them at their games. So that's nice to have that support too, and go witness them and see them in their other events. But a lot of the time, the team is out playing pass with each other, getting their sticks in their hands as much as possible because they are ready for the season to be here and ready for it to be January and have us start practicing again.
Yeah. So coach, you got your MBA from Husson in 2020. So just tell me about, getting your MBA and how you decided, to get your MBA.
So when I was in school, I wasn't quite sure what I had wanted to do. So my original bachelor's degree was in psychology. Subject was very, very interesting. I loved studying it. I loved getting to learn more about that. But as I kind of progressed through that degree, I realized that may not have been the career path for me. So that's when I decided to get my MBA from Husson. And it definitely served me well as an assistant. I was working in banking for a little bit while still coaching here. So that was an exciting time in my life. And I definitely am very happy to have that background with me and to just have that experience. So getting my MBA was a highlight for sure.
Yeah. And then coach, if you can just tell me a little about, what drew you to become a coach, and then just how has your coaching experience been so far?
So when I was a student athlete, I definitely did not want my time to end. So we kept getting closer and closer to my senior year, and I'm like, oh, another year down. I am
Yeah.
not ready for this to end yet.
Mhm.
And I'm like, how is it that I can stay involved with this sport? And so then the opportunity presented me to be an assistant coach. And after I kind of took on the assistant coach role, I'm like, wow, this is something that I want to do forever and that I never want to end. And then when the head coaching job opened up, I knew that I had to go after it and I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So grateful for all those experiences, and my time as a head coach so far has been amazing. I have loved every second of it. And I'm very grateful to get to be here and to work with the student athletes that I do, because just seeing them grow and develop and having a role in that, is very, very special to me and is what really makes my job truly, truly special.
Yeah. So it says you're from Wells, Maine. So just tell me about, growing up in Maine. Some of your, how you got started playing lacrosse, and just, what lacrosse was like for you, growing up.
I'm sorry, you kind of broke up there for a second there, so I lost the question.
Oh, yeah, just tell me about, growing up in Maine, how you got started playing lacrosse, and just, what lacrosse was like for you, growing up and playing.
Yeah, growing up in Wells, Maine, I really, really enjoyed growing up in that town. It's a smaller sized town in southern Maine, so very touristy. A lot of tourists will come for the summer months and they'll spend time there. But I had played softball pretty much growing up, and it got to be kind of slow for me. I like the fast-paced game of soccer, so I was
Mhm.
looking for something that kind of mirrored that. So I had a friend who was like, "We should try lacrosse. Like, let's try it." In seventh grade, I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a try." And we actually had a strong rec department, so I was grateful for that. They definitely um, helped us develop in the sport. I know a lot of towns in Maine, they don't have as strong as a of a rec department, so lacrosse isn't available until high school for them. So just having the ability to play lacrosse in junior high, I think really made the difference for me. And after I tried it, I just fell in love with it. I love the fast-paced nature of the game. I love, everything about this game. So it was really, really exciting to try it and just fall in love with it immediately.
Yeah. So you graduated in 2018 from Husson. Just tell me about, what initially, drew you to Husson.
I think it was the small size for me that really drew me to
Mhm.
Husson. I didn't want to go to a university and just be a big number somewhere. I wanted to have that connection with my professors, with my classmates, and have that more intimate feel. And I wanted to be kind of a close-knit campus where I could walk from one end to the other in a few minutes and not have to take a bus or a train or something like that. So just that small feel really drew me in, and it makes you feel more like you're at home. Um, and it's a special, special campus that really the community just bonds around you and makes you feel like you are important.
Yeah. Then throughout your time at Huston, some of your accomplishments, you attained. You were a team captain, three-time, all conference selection, and you're the program, record holder for goals, points, and ground balls. So just tell me about, some of the accomplishments, that you attained, and just what do these accomplishments, mean to you?
The accomplishments they're definitely really special, but something that I just could never overlook would be my experience as a whole. For me, I've never really been one to want to be in the spotlight about accomplishments. It's more so kind of just about the experiences that I had and the moments that I got to share with all of my teammates. Because without any of my teammates, I would not have been successful in our sport, and just the support that they gave me and encouragement that they gave me, um, and along with my coach as well. But those are all wrapped up into the one whole big experience that I had that I just truly love so much.
And then, just tell me about some of your favorite memories, from playing lacrosse at Huston. And then you mentioned, just tell me overall, how was your experience, attending Huston and, getting to play lacrosse?
My experience was tremendous. That's again, kind of why I'm still here. So,
Yeah.
um, it was heavily based on the community is what made me, want to continue to stay. One of my favorite moments was probably beating Thomas College my freshman year. We were kind of predicted to be middle of the pack that year. We weren't really predicted to do amazing. But when we played Thomas, I think they kind of underestimated us a little bit. It was a close, close game. I remember I was very, very sick. So it was just kind of cool for us to go out, pull away with a really close win. And then, um, have that feeling of like, yes, like we definitely proved some people wrong today, and we were able to pull away with that win, which was I know, a special moment for a lot of us that were on the team that year.
Yeah. Finally, coach, what do you enjoy most about coaching? And how has, coaching been for you, so far? Like, how special is coaching for you? Just tell me about that.
Coaching is really, really special for
Mhm.
me. I touched on this a little bit before, but I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing that I just love and really, really appreciate is getting to work with these student athletes, and getting to have a part in how they develop and grow as just overall human beings. A lot of them are in and out of my office on a daily basis, asking me for advice with something or just wanting to share something good that happened, or maybe they want to talk about something that they're struggling with a little bit. And so just being able to be a part of their everyday lives, and looking at the picture bigger than lacrosse, it really, really makes me feel great to be in this position. And when alumni now are texting me, giving me updates on their lives, still keeping me connected, that's something that's irreplaceable as a coach, and that I think a lot of people on the outside kind of don't think about, that we're there for these student athletes for more than just on a coaching basis.